Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast where Laura DiBenedetto and Julia Becker Collins share tips, suggestions, and stories to help you succeed in business. In this episode, we discuss the high costs of marketing mistakes, including lost opportunities, reputation risks, and legal issues. They emphasize the value of outsourcing and hiring experts to make informed decisions. And here's Laura and Julia.
Welcome back to enVisioning Success. I am your host, Laura DiBenedetto, and I'm joined by Julia Becker Collins. And boy, we love helping you make money on easy mode. Today will be no exception. We're going to help you to choose wisely about what you can DIY and what you definitely don't want to DIY. As I've mentioned in several episodes of this show, I am notoriously frugal. So listen, I understand the desire to be like, I can do that myself and save money. Sometimes is what I'll tell you. Sometimes you cost yourself money.
I think the other thing we haven't talked about, and I don't know if we're going to get into it, is the amount of time marketing takes, even for an expert.
Let's lead with that. Tell them what they've won.
Tell them what they've won, Pat. One of the things I say to our clients, say we're working on, I don't know, something very low level basic, a Facebook account, something like that. That's not like the most complex thing in the world. And sometimes I say it's not rocket science, but it's incredibly time consuming. And you really want to spend your version of a full work day, because if it took us a full work day, it's going to take you 5 to do that. So sometimes it's really a time/cost saving measure, because if your billable rate is $500 an hour, $600 an hour, and you spend 8 days on something, how much money are you losing?
Yeah, that's really true. It's more than that too. It's like we said in the last episode, and I think the one before, steal my 10,000 hours.
Right.
I mean, let's say, to your point, and this is very true, right? Can you do a website yourself? Yes. Mm-hmm. Can you build it yourself 100%, including the graphics? Yes, you can. Absolutely. It will take you 5 times longer at a minimum. And even at the end of it, the question I would have for you is, after putting in 5x time into it, are you going to be arriving at the same point that an expert would arrive at? Will it be as good?
No, it won't.
Be mistake-free?
No.
It's a really good point. So that's a bonus point that we're coming in hot with. I like it.
That's what I'm here for. Hot takes or whatever.
So let's lead off with the first one here. We really like to give you 5 things, because if we did more than that, well, this would be a very long show. 2, you wouldn't remember it. So let's talk about this first one. The first one is actually quantifying lost opportunities. This might be one of the biggest hills I'll ever die on. When you incorrectly choose the things you should DIY, you will be facing lost opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the thing that people don't think about as a real high penalty for doing something the wrong way. This could also be choosing the wrong marketer. Mm-hmm. It could be falling prey to a really glitzy sales process, like we talked about in the last episode. These could happen, okay? Mm-hmm. So think about this. If you're going to invest $100,000 into your marketing, you might be thinking to yourself, holy crap, that's a lot of money. Yep, it is for some people. For others, it's nothing. Okay. Now imagine if you spend that on something that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. You not only have lost $100,000, but you also lost out on all of the potential success that you would have gotten from it. Now, let's say you invest $100,000 with an expert who actually will drive results for you. you'll be able to invest the money and actually see a return on your investment. So you're not only not wasting money, but you're actually making a wise investment. You're building a relationship with a professional that will compound results over time. So you are seeing a positive return on your investment. Listen, I say this as kind of like a joke, but if you've ever like invested in crypto, you're like, yay, this is so much fun. Woo! And you want to do it and you invest it. And then sometimes it's like, get a big nothing burger in return. Don't do that here. Marketing is not a speculative investment. It's actually something where you can very easily make a bad decision, but with a little elbow grease, you can make an excellent decision, and you will not just see a great program, but you will not miss out on opportunities. You will not see money leaving and nothing coming back. Listen, the opportunity cost argument, dude, that shit's real. Like, really, really listen carefully. This is the thing that people don't think about. I was recently chatting with the business owner of a really interesting remodeling company that I was looking at acquiring here in Florida. I was taking a look at the marketing, and I was taking a look at all of the things that weren't being done. And of course, going in there as a marketer, that's my area of expertise. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in looking at top line revenue. I've walked away from this business. There's some other opportunities in there that was like, there's issues here. This is too many issues for me. This is a rehab. I don't want it. But the big thing that I was looking at is, candidly, you can actually solve a lot of problems by throwing money at it. But if you don't have the money coming in because you don't have sufficient lead flow, what are you going to do? You're going to sit with your problems and be stuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this business is, which is why I walked away. So it made me really think about this. And I also said to this fellow, I'm like, look, man, you've got 3 different marketers. One of them looks like it's effective. The problem is you don't know which one. So you've got a triple effort for a single return. So you're pissing away money, but because you're pissing away money, you're underfunding the one thing that is working that you can't identify. So you're actually having massive missed opportunity because you're not actually capitalizing correctly, which means you're leaving money on the table. And of course, your numbers are declining when they should be trending upward.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a fun conversation.
Oh, I'm sure that went real well.
He hated it. He agreed with me. And there's, possibility for future conversations. I want to help the man. The great news is, really candidly, as I'm looking at acquiring companies, I am meeting some really awesome people. Also meeting some D-bags, not going to lie, but meeting some really awesome people that I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I met you. I don't know what the future holds. It might not be this, but it could be something,
Yep.
The D-bags, they're going to be like, ooh, we putting you back on the shelf. You're horrible. Bye.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Ain't it? Let's talk about the second one.
Second one is reputation risks. We talked not last episode, 2 episodes ago, about the importance of your brand and the external information out there in the world about you. And this all relates. So, how marketing problems, blunders, mistakes can permanently damage a brand's reputation. We have seen it happen. We have seen it happen with people that wanted to work with us and then didn't rehab their brand. We've seen it happen where clients won't invest properly in rehabbing their brand. They won't, come to Jesus, as it were, in terms of understanding the reality versus what they want it to be.
I love that you, the Jew, use that phrase.
It's a good phrase.
No end.
Big fan of it. And, a lack of understanding about the trust that's built with your audience around your brand. I will give you an example. In 2021, so restaurants have reopened at this point, but there's definitely restrictions. We had a sales conversation with a restaurant that's local to New England that we, could easily drive to. And they had an atrocious reputation. They had 1-star reviews across the board. Anywhere you could leave a review, people were leaving reviews about safety, about cleanliness, about how they were being treated by the staff, about how management was treating the employees. Anything and everything that could go wrong in a year where restaurants were not making a lot to begin with was going wrong. And we said, yes, we could manage this for you. Here's what we would do. Here's how much it would cost. It is a long process, and you have to get out of the way for us to do it.
Mhm.
Not only did they not want to spend the money at all, they also didn't believe that it could be their downfall. And shocker to no one, that restaurant is no longer around anymore.
I hate seeing that happen. I really
I
do.
know.
I take absolutely no joy in someone failing.
No, were they doing things they shouldn't have been doing? Absolutely. But could it have been dealt with in the correct way? Absolutely.
Well, this is the whole argument of stay in your lane. If it's been established that you're not great at managing X, Y, or Z, maybe don't do that and outsource that.
Right. I just had a really great sales conversation with a fitness business, and we had a great chat about, and she even brought it up before I did, that she wants to stay in her lane. She doesn't know how to do marketing. She understands fitness. She doesn't understand this, and she needs somebody else to come take the whole kit and caboodle for her and just do it. She wants to hand it off. And I said, let me help relieve you of that.
That's awesome. The thing that I really want you as the listener and dear friend here to take from this, we're trying to get you to think about this in a bigger way and step back and really be able to obsess on the right stuff and be able to objectively see yourself, which is very hard to do, and also objectively do the best feelings-free deciding about what's best for your company so you can come out on top. Because Julia and I constantly joke about big feelings, and we do it on purpose because big feelings lead to stupidity. They just do. Leave your big feelings out of it. It's not about your feelings and your emotions, facts over feelings, period. Like, I don't know how else to put this. I want to make a shirt that says fuck your feelings. It doesn't matter, right? You want to do it. Who cares? Oh, you don't want to be on Facebook. Well, your customer is. Like, depends, right? So when you think about all of this stuff, figure out what you're good at. Let's say you do have a restaurant. We still, work with a few restaurants. We're not focused on acquiring new restaurant clients anymore. A little too risky post-pandemic. We're like, ooh, don't like the risk. But
Also talk about big feelings.
yeah. Oh, Lord. So let's say you own a restaurant. You have one skill when it comes to being able to market yourself really correctly. Maybe you are really, really good at guest services. Great. You might be perfectly equipped to do your online reputation management. If you're not good with creating content, inventing new stuff, photography, yada, yada, outsource the stuff that you can't do well. And here's your benchmark. This is going to be yet another bonus point for you. Unless your skills are on par with the experts who get paid to do it, don't do it. There actually could be things. I've seen business owners with like restaurants. I'm just going to continue to go with this example. They are brilliant photographers because they just happen to be hobbyists. Great. And they also, their kitchen is great with plating. So we're able to get really, really great material to work with. They can even film great stuff, but they're terrible with everything else and they're disorganized. Okay. Do the thing you're good at. But make sure that it is on par with the level of expertise that the experts bring to the table, or don't do it. Like, yeah, I'm kind of good is not going to pass muster. Your business deserves better. And frankly, when you're hiring people, you're not going to get someone who's kind of good. Would you be excited to hire someone who is kind of good and pay them top dollar? No.
Right.
Be objective. Take your big feelings out.
Right. Don't compromise on quality.
No, don't do that. So, we talked about this in the last episode for sure. There's always a 4-episode arc in case you haven't picked up on it. Here it is.
This is your first day listening to enVisioning Success.
Yes. Do not pick and choose. Try to listen to the episodes in order. That really, really makes a difference, and they are part of a larger conversation. So, third point here is efficiency losses. DIY efforts can lead to, the inefficient use of time. We talked about this as the bonus point that we lead with on this episode, but also other stuff. Like, your time is actually really important as a business owner. Really important. Your time needs to be focused on working on your business, not in it. That's it. When you're DIYing stuff, you're in it. You're not you think you're growing your business. You're not. You're actually trapped in operations. Cut it out.
Right. You can't grow if you are doing everything and not delegating, because there's still only 24 hours in the day and you're now maxing it out with things you could be delegating.
I agree. 100%. What's point 4?
Point number 4, legal and compliance issues. Oh, this is a Julia Becker Collins special.
I just got excited for you. I was like, ooh, tell them what they won. Oh my God.
Tell them what they won, Pat. If you know me, you know I totally nerd out on legal and compliance items, which is possibly the least sexy thing in the world. But that doesn't mean that it won't get you in a trap if you don't deal with it properly.
Yep.
So I just actually had an article in the Worcester Business Journal, which is our local business journal to the Central Mass area, that talks all about copyright infringement problems that small businesses often come up against. And I'm going to say the same thing I always say. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not offering legal advice. But that all being said, right, disclaimer, thank you, don't sue me. The issue is that people will Google search, find an image, copy and paste the image, and use it in their marketing. You have stolen work product when you have done that, and you can be persecuted and prosecuted. Both words. 100%. I have seen it happen, and it is so easy to avoid. Either get license-free, which they're out there, license-free imagery that is license-free, like the sound clips on Instagram or the sound clips somewhere else, or the images that are out there and able to be used, or pay the licensing, get a subscription, get access to something where you're paying monthly for a certain number of downloads to licensed imagery. It is a very low cost way of avoiding a high cost problem. And it's a problem that, unless you are in marketing, you don't know about. I have said this, right. I have said this to so many professional groups when I've done public speaking, and you can see the horrified looks in the audience of people that have done exactly this, and they didn't know that it was an issue. There's other issues, such as the difference between email marketing in California and the rest of the United States is vastly different. Excuse me. They have very different laws there. There's also, sorry, my asthma's acting up.
Don't die.
I know, trying. Don't mind me, everyone. Just unwrapping the old lady Ricola.
Sound Ricola. Seriously, I'm just imagining, class, imagine with me now. This will be so fun. I want you to picture when Julia is giving a speech and she's talking to people about stealing people's IP by accident and they don't know, and the dawn hits. I want you to picture Ralph Wiggum in the back of the bus. I'm in danger.
Literally.
That's you, man.
And it's so many licensed professionals that are successful in their businesses, and they realize they have broken the law and didn't realize it.
Yeah, what
another
you
thing
don't
is
know can hurt you. Ignorance
if you don't know about,
make you immune to it.
Correct. If you don't know about the difference between marketing in Europe and the United States, you will end up in a legal tussle, because there are very, very different and strict laws about digital marketing in Europe versus the United States. And you can't just try to edge around that. It's very different.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to this that people don't realize. You mentioned the whole stock photography, video. Um, there's also like one of the concerns that some of the members of our team had quite legitimately when we began to leverage AI tools was plagiarism, because
Mm-hmm.
it was actually widely reported that there was a lot of content that the bots were creating that was actually protected by copyright law. So very, very risky. And like you have to keep that in mind. Seriously, this is a really good point. And just remember Ralphie in the back of the bus, okay? Don't be Ralphie.
It's so bad. It's so, so bad. I mean, we could spend all day. I could spend all day on this. Laura knows.
Yep.
I could talk about HR law and employment law and the difference between one state and another state. What if you're hiring internationally? How do you do?
So what
So
you're
this is,
saying is you're fun at parties.
I'm very fun at parties. Very, very fun at parties. But I will keep you.
Oh my God, it's Julian. Can we talk about tax law?
I know. I am a big fan of the boring things that keep the company safe.
And that is why I'm a fan of you. One of
I
many
know.
other reasons, but yeah. Yeah, you got to look out for yourself, man. Ignorance of the law does not make you, not susceptible
Immune
to it.
to the law.
Yeah. So the last point here is that you really want to leverage expertise. So here's my advice. It's not enough for you to just pick an expert. This is the advice that I've been giving people for many years now, and particularly lately, especially now that I'm in a community of amazing business owners and people who aspire to be business owners. And it's super cool. So my advice is to hire a strategist that understands business really, really well, and have that strategist help you to make decisions about what to outsource, what to do yourself, what your strategy should be, where you should spend money, and where you shouldn't spend money. It is one of the most financially lean investments you'll ever make, and it will pay you dividends because it will protect you from legal issues because you won't make stupid decisions. It will protect you from efficiency losses. It will protect you from reputation risks. It will protect you from lost opportunities. It will protect you from piss poor investments that where you just waste your money on, like a lot of shit coins in the crypto space. Hey, I have crypto. I'm just saying. Like marketing is not, and I cannot emphasize this point enough, it is not to be treated as a gamble. It is not something that should be regarded as a speculative investment. This is an investment that you can get your arms around and choose wisely. So I do this for people. I also know lots of people who do this. I work with an awesome human being. His name is Paul. He helps businesses that are in the $1 billion range and much, much larger than where I typically hang out with. To do all of this. But people need advisors and strategists to help them to make excellent decisions. And I'm going to tell you, every business of every size needs this, which is why Paul has a job and Laura has a job and Julia has a job, because all different business owners, when they put their ego aside, as Julia recommended to you earlier, when they put their ego aside, realize, I actually don't know everything. No, you don't. And it's wonderful that you realize that. So now you can safeguard yourself against something that can potentially epically screw you over. And seriously, hiring an expert to help guide you, your strategist, your, advisor, whatever, that can be one of the most powerful investments you ever make in your entire career.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I've got to say about that. I'm going to leave you with this image. Don't be Ralphie in the back of the bus. I'm in danger. Don't do that. Make sure that you actually put yourself in good hands. If you can DIY certain things, let's say your company's on the much smaller side and you are absolutely confined by your financial resources, that happens. Can't deny it. It does. Choose wisely. But there's such a thing as called a business loan, where you can actually take loans to make good investments. Now, everything that we talked about with the sales pitches and getting pitch slapped in the last episode, that's really important because no bank is going to lend you money to hire a tactician without a good strategy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can see something that is going to actually provide you with more opportunity for top line revenue, and you can prove that to a bank, you'll be able to get a loan that will help your business to grow. That's why they have programs like this. So keep your credit good and pay your bills. Just saying. Anyway, thank you for being in this episode. The next episode is going to be about what professional marketers can do, should do, and what the real value is. It's not just, oh, they know more than me. We do, but there's more to it than that. So let's talk about that. Be sure to go to vision-advertising.com and let us know if you need help with your marketing. Otherwise, tell us what you think about our show. If there's something you'd like for us to cover, a question that you have, or you want to throw rotten tomatoes, we're here for it. On that note, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.